Well, in the early 5th century, there's a certain controversy that could shake the very foundation of Christianity. It's about the nature of human sin and the need for divine grace and salvation. This happened because of the drive of English lay monk named Pelagius to reform the church morals. He began to teach that human nature was not corrupted by the fall of Adam and that salvation is a worthy reward. Well, for Pelagius, human nature has no natural or inherent predisposition to evil, which inevitably leads to sin. Therefore, man need not sin. He believed that sin was the product of bad upbringing, bad example, and vices. The reason behind this is when he arrived at Rome, he noticed that some Christians ought to think morality as abstract. So he endorsed a personal moral reform that Christians ought to be morally upright. Such suggestions were relatively uncontroversial. However, Pelagius framed his demand for moral renewal and perfection. His aim is to persuade his opponents to convert Christianity into a religion of moral achievement. He declared that humanity was free to choose to act morally and was therefore under an absolute moral obligation to do so. It was a matter of self discipline and the exercise of will over the lower human nature. He insists that since perfection is possible for humanity, it is obligatory. Augustine disagreed, arguing that human nature was damaged and corrupted by sin. As a result, human freedom was limited. He states that knowing what we should do did not imply that we are capable of achieving it. Therefore, human cannot make it on their own and needed divine grace in order to achieve it. Augustine considered grace to be an undeserved or unjust gift of God through which God willingly broke the reign of sin over mankind. Redemption is possible only as a gift of God. It is not something we can achieve for ourselves, it must be done for us. Through the whole debate, Augustine emphasized that the source of salvation lies outside of man, but within God Himself. It is God who initiates the process of salvation, not man or woman. To summarize it all up, Pelagius and Augustine had a very different views on sin and salvation, and we can observe that the belief of Pelagius, which is called Pelagianism, concluded that salvation is by merit, and Augustine thought that salvation is by grace. For Augustine, human nature is weak, fallen, and powerless, but for Pelagius, it is autonomous and self sufficient. For Augustine, humanity must depend upon God for salvation. For Pelagius, God merely indicated what has to be done if salvation is to be attained, and then leaves men and women to meet those conditions unaided. For Augustine, salvation is an unmerited gift. For Pelagius, salvation is a justly earned reward. The argument goes on for quite some time, but finally, Augustine's view that Christianity is a religion of divine rescue overcame Pelagius' self-help perspective. In the year of AD 431 at the Council of Ephesus, Pelagianism was condemned as a heresy. Augustine's doctrine of salvation by grace was deeply influenced by the letters of Apostle Paul and had a great influence on the 16th century Protestant Reformation. Augustine later became known as Dr. Gratiae, as physician of grace.